What is up, my fair people? It is I, willycage, back at it with another video, and I know what you're thinking. What do we got cooking up today? Well, my fair people, let me tell you, gotta take a blast to the past because I picked up this bad boy right here. Got some Tales from the Crypt, that's right. Not one, but two. Double creature feature on that one. But today we're gonna be reviewing this one, the DemonKnight one. Now, I did see this one way back in my younger days one time, so I didn't really remember what it was about, but I did remember I enjoyed it. So let me ask myself, did I enjoy it this time? Being much older and wiser, did I find it the same entertainment as I did when I was a youngin'? Well, let's get into it. So this movie starts with a car chase between Frank Breaker and the Collector. All right, those characters getting a little more later, you know what I'm saying? So the car chase scene's going down, and the Collector is hot on this fool's tail. So Breaker brings out his boomstick, and he blows up the other car. But the Collector don't really care. He's still in it, and he's heading towards his car because Breaker ran out of gas. Forgot to mention that. So as the cars come in, Breaker makes a run for it, right? And the Collector ends up colliding the cars, and they explode. He ends up in the town nearby trying to break into a car, but he almost gets caught, so he makes a run for it. Ends up meeting this homeless guy who is drunk Uncle Willie. Yep, I had to say it, but it's what he is. So drunk Uncle Willie and him make some conversation, and Breaker asks if there's anywhere he could stay the night. Of course, this fool's like, I got you, bro. So he brings him down to an old rundown church. Well, it used to be a church, but they kind of just use it as a hotel or motel or something like that. And Breaker gets settled down. You know, he's doing his thing, whatever. But in the meantime, over at the explosion, we get two police officers like, bro, what the hell is this? There ain't no way anybody survived that, until from out of nowhere, the Collector comes up and he's like, oh, that was me. And it was this other guy. Gerbil. They're talking, whatever, until the police get a dispatch from a call from the church that there's people breaking into cars. So they just make their way over there. And on the way over, the Collector's making conversation and telling these people how this dude, Frank Breaker, is like criminal. He's like hostile. He can't be trusted. They need to lock him up, bro. Throw away the key while they're at it. So they make their way to the church, and that's when the face-off between these two happen. They see each other. They're like, you know what I'm saying? So the confrontation with these two happening, arguing about a key that Breaker has, which the Collector says it was stolen from him, by him. So they're looking around for this key and everything until the police discover that both cars were stolen. And what do police do? They arrest people that break the law. So these fools are like, all right, boys, handcuff them, the Collector and Breaker, until the Collector's like, homie, don't play that. Breaks out. Mortal Kombat fatality is one of these cops. Breaker is able to get him outside the church before anything goes too crazy by using the key. You're thinking, what do you mean he's using a key? Huh? Well, if you haven't seen the movie, the Collector is a demon. But he looks like a regular dude in the movie. So the key's in the shape of a cross, so, you know, demons, crosses. You know what I'm saying? So he gets him out of there real quick. And what he uses is, not only is it a key, but it has blood inside of it. Whose blood? I'll talk about that in a sec. But the blood is able to, once you put it in a doorway or opening of a door frame, whatever, the demons can't come through. Smart thinking. So while he's doing that, the Collector cuts open his palm and he starts growing other demons of his own. And that's when the movie basically begins. Now, I'm not going to go in step-by-step detail of what this movie is, because you can watch for yourself, man, but this will probably have some spoilers in it. So if you've been seeing it, you could probably just skip to the end-a-roo, see what I think about it, and then go see it for yourself. Or don't, and go see it for yourself. Up to you, really. But honestly, this movie kind of reminds me of two things. It reminds me of kind of like Call of Duty Zombies, because these people are stuck in this house trying to hold down the fort while these demons are trying to break in and kill them, right? But now that I say that, doesn't remind you of another thing? Or should I say another movie? Let's see. They're in a house. They can't leave. Some otherworldly demons trying to break in and kill them. And there's an artifact that the demon wants. Any movie in particular? How about Evil Dead? Woo! I had to say it. It is a little similar to Evil Dead, but not all too similar. I mean, when the demons possess the people in this movie, they do kind of look like Deadites, but they are a bit different. See, Deadites, you have to like dismember them. You have to cut off their head, their arms, their legs, their everything, right? But these demons, you could kill them by piercing their eye with a bullet, a knife, or anything that could pierce their eye will kill the demons. But it won't kill a high-ranking demon. Don't know why. I don't make the rules. So basically we have the collector, right? He's in here and he wants to get inside. But like I said, he can't because the key had the blood of the chosen one in it. Who's the chosen one? Well, this movie does have like, once you get to a certain part, you find out that Jesus Christ gave this key, had the blood of Christ in it, and he passed it on to somebody else, and that person passed it on to Breaker, right? So the blood was filled with him. So it's basically like the chosen one's blood, right? And it messes up the demons if they touch it, or if they put it in a doorway and they try to run through it, it'll mess them up. It prevents them from going in there. That's what the key's about. And why do the demons want the key, you may think? Well, because if there's 7 keys, right? And if they get all 7 of them, it's the end of the universe as we know it. And honestly, I like living in this universe, so I hope they don't get the key. But the collector tries to play these mind games with some of the people, you know, try to break them mentally. So who is in this house? Who is in this house, you may ask? Like, who are we dealing with here? Well, first things first, we have Frank Breaker, who is the current chosen one, holding down the fort. And he's on his mission to prevent the demons from getting the key, but also to pass on the torch of the chosen one, which you find out in the movie, if you already watched it. This is where the spoilers come in. So while he's doing that job, we have the drunk Uncle Willie. Now, to his character, he's not much besides exactly what his name is. Just the drunk guy that's around, you know, it's like, love, peace, chicken grease, give me a beer, and I'll be here. But we also have Jada Smith.
Keep my wife.
I know, I said it, she's in this movie. But basically, she's kind of like, she works in the house, or motel, should I say, whatever we want to call it, rundown church. And she's basically like the maid, you know, she's there. Mentally strong, soon to be chosen one. Yeah, spoiler. Then we have the yin and yang of 2 people right here. We have the bad boy and we have the simp. That's right, this movie had the simp before the simp was a thing. And let me tell you, it didn't pay off back then, and it certainly isn't paying off these days. Let me tell you what happened back then, you know, when demons were roaming the earth, before I was even born. So we meet this woman named Cordella. You know, Cordella, she's one of those people that inside the house that I'll get to in a second. Well, actually, I'll just tell you right now. She's basically a horse. And I'm not talking about the horses outside. I'm talking about the horse that sleeps with a bunch of men. All right, and she has like, I don't know if it's her boyfriend or not, but she has the 2 love interests. The one that I don't know if it's boyfriend is Roach, and then the simp, Wally. Let me tell you about why simping isn't pimping. So, when we meet Wally and we meet Cordella, you know, Wally's, you know, working his simping moves, doing everything that she wants, basically. You know, she doesn't want to go get her laundry, he goes and gets it. He does this, he does that, he does this. And what does she do? She goes with Roach, and she gets to working, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, cut to later in the movie, what happens? Well, the collector, he plays these mind games on the people like I was saying before. And what are these mind games? He gets into their head, because he can't go inside the house because it's blocked off. But he's able to speak telepathically. You know, he knows what these people's deepest desires are. So he's like, oh, you want this? I can promise you this. All you have to do is let me in. And he shows them visions and everything. So what does Cordella want? She just wants to be loved, right? She just wants love, to be treated like every other girl, treated with respect. She doesn't want to be treated like dirt from her current boy toy treats her, even though she ignores the simp. But eventually she gives in. And what does that happen? What happens? He turns into basically a deadite. And unfortunately, just like the regular deadites, these ones can also disguise herself in a human form. So she's sitting there crying and whatever. And what happens? The simp comes in and he's, you know, he tries to work his simp in ways, you know, oh, this, that. And then she eats his face off. Simping ain't easy. Now let's move into Roach. Probably the most annoying character in this movie, I'll tell you. It's not because he's like the bad guy or anything like that. Not like the bad guy, but like, you know, the bad boy, whatever you want to call it. He is just so goddamn stupid. All right. Now, I never grew up super duper religious. I never read the Bible or anything. And I know bits to pieces and of this and that, but I do know demons are evil. Bit obvious, right? What else do demons do? Lie, cheat, steal. So, this whole movie, this dummy is trying to get the key off of Frank Breaker so he could use it to persuade the demon to let him leave without him killing, right? And he knows the demon wants the key, so he's like, yeah, I just slide him that right there, and he let me scot-free. It's possibly the most stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life from somebody. Because, bro, it's a demon. What do you think the demon's gonna do? You think he's gonna hold up on his end? Seriously. You probably know how that goes. Honestly, it's... At some point, he does get the key. He's able to five-finger discount it. And then, you know, he's like, oh, bro, I'm good to leave now, right? And the team's like, for sure, bro. Just wipe that blood off so I can enter, and then, you know, you could leave. And then he's like, all right, well, I'll see. He's like, hold on. I'm a demon, bro. What did you expect? And then he gets eaten by the demons. Now, honestly, let's talk about the Collector for a second. Pretty interesting character. It's like if Jim Carrey was terrorizing people as his role from The Mask. He's a bit goofy. He does goofy things. He's pretty funny. He's like this, that. It's a pretty interesting character. But, you know, he's a demon, so he got those demon skills, bro. And he's not like those little demons that he grows like Cabbage Patch Kids or something. No, he's a top-tier demon. So he ain't playing no games. That's why he has all these special powers, and all these other demons, they got the lame ones. And honestly, that's about it for the characters for the most part. I mean, there are a few other ones, but they don't really have much to them, I'll say. More just a body. Now I'll just break down the things I really enjoyed about this movie. And to be honest, number one is the effects this movie had. Now, for a movie made in the 80s, it had some pretty groovy effects. Now, I will say, the lightning from the eyes is a bit outdated, but, you know, for the time, it was probably its thing. And there was, like, another one in the movie, I think, when the Collector cuts his hand open, it's a little wonky. But, you know, I'll ease up because the blood, the gore, the slime, even the kills were groovy as hell in this movie. Let me tell you, the kills in this movie are pretty damn awesome. Like, any of the kills. I can't think of one of the boring kill the movie had. From the first kill to the last kill. Honestly, the first kill is probably one of the best ones because it's basically just a Mortal Kombat fatality. And honestly, whoever, I don't know which part is the makeup design team or costume design team, but whoever made like the costumes for the demons, they got an A+ for me. The A+. Because those things look creepy as hell, especially when the kid becomes a demon. And there's a kid in there, and the demon just off the wall. Creepy as hell. Even when I seen it like the other day, when I rewatched it, I was like, damn, this is creepy. Especially a movie of that time. And even these days, movies don't really have creepy looking monsters with all the effects we have and everything we have now. But back then, bro, that thing was insane in the membrane. Also, when it comes to the demons, there's like two different ones. There's the ones that he grows from the floor, and then there's the ones when he possesses the people. Now, when the people get possessed, I said, like before, they kind of just look like deadites, but the ones that he grows from the floor look like a mix of Pumpkinhead with like the Predator unmasked. Looks weird as hell, but they look cool. They look awesome. And honestly, if I seen one of those things walking around, I would probably die of a heart attack. I'm gonna be honest, before it even gets me, bro. If I seen that thing running at me, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed the storyline. I know what you're thinking. Why? And I'll tell you. Honestly, it's a bit confusing for me to remember, but more or less the premise of like God creating these keys and scattering it all over the universe, and these demons trying to grab these keys to take over the universe and turn it into like darkness and nothingness. It's pretty groovy. Also like how it's a specific number of 7. Like it's not 1,000,000 and it's not just 1. It's like 7. So like, you know, if all 6 fail, where there's at least 1 more left, and it's not over, you know, it's just a super high number. It's just like, all right, man, like, come on. But I also like the idea of there being like a chosen one and the passing of the torch. You know, as soon as like, if I was the chosen one, I gotta go find the other chosen, like who I'm gonna pass it on to next. And they have like this tattoo on their hand. It starts off like in a ball, but once they get close to the chosen one, it spreads apart. You know, and that's a pretty cool idea right there. But, you know, the idea of pass it on to the next person, I think that's a pretty groovy idea. And I also think that Jada Pinkett Smith a pretty good role in this movie, right? You could see, like, when she's getting persuaded by the collector, how she has to, like, when it shows her deepest desires of wanting to travel and how she feels stuck inside, like, where she is and that she can't really be free and how, like, you know, she wants to travel the world, she wants to live life. And even though he's telling her that he can give it to her, I think she knows, or even if she doesn't know, that she has the right heart to not give in to the demon. And not only that, but you can see her trying her best to save the others and trying to, like, do what's right to keep everyone alive instead of being like Roach, who's like trying to sell everybody out to save him. And honestly, the ending was pretty awesome at the end too. You know, she just gets on the bus and she's smart. She throws on the blood at the entrance, and then as it goes to the next stop, the guy right there, you know he's a demon because he takes a look down. He's like, I'll just wait for the next bus. Kind of looked like the Undertaker. But I don't know if they made a sequel to it. And if they did, it might be the one on the CD that I just grabbed. So, you know, I'm going to probably get into that one soon and throw it up here. And that's about it for this movie. You know, unfortunately, Tales from the Crypt was before my time. I don't know if there's like a modern one these days that maybe I'm just missing out on. I know there's supposed to be like a remake of like the entire show. Honestly, if they remade it, I would definitely jump on the train. I'm thinking about buying the whole series and maybe I could do videos on that. People want it. But honestly, this movie was pretty groovy. And honestly, from the kills to the demons, it has everything that you know, when it comes to movies, I like seeing lots and lots of blood and slime and like everything else. And the kills, I like when they're creative, or at least if they're not creative, they're shown in a cool way. You know, it's not just like and then something boring. And you know, this movie had it. And not only that, it was like, I feel like it has that, and also has like the super weird story with the galaxy and the demons and everything. So, you know, so it appeals to like two crowds, I think. And I know what you're thinking. It's the question of the day right here. It's like, Willie Cage, what do you rate it on the Willie Cage scale? And you know, just like the other movie that I just reviewed, Halloween #2, this movie kind of got done dirty when I was like looking online at the reviews. They were getting like 2 stars, only like max like maybe 5 or whatever. But honestly, on the scale that I'm gonna give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. That's right, an 8 out of 10. I know you're thinking I'm crazy. It's mad old, bro. But bro, let me tell you, when you watch this movie right here, that one, I'll get into this one later. When you watch it, you know, it's a teensy bit slow at the start, but once everything gets going, bro, it gets growing. It's not like The Shining where it's like 3 hours long of boringness. This one, it just has like the build up and then it has the execution. I told you, it's just like Evil Dead or like Call of Duty Zombies. Like, they're holding down the fort, they're fighting these things, eyes are getting stabbed, everything's going crazy in here. Even the final battle with the Collector and Jada Smith, insane in the membrane. I won't ruin that one, but I will tell you that there is that. I mean, if you probably watched the movie by now, but if not, you will be forgiven. Honestly, that's about all I gotta say for this movie. I mean, I honestly super recommend it. I don't see why you shouldn't watch it. I mean, the only way you couldn't is if you can't find it. But I mean, you probably find it on Amazon or something for free. I just happened to stumble upon it at the movie store. Got 2 movies for the price of $5. But honestly, that's all I gotta say from the old Willie Cage. Now, other than that, let me just tell you, simping doesn't pay off. And don't trust demons, because that doesn't pay off. Why don't you guys go have a lovely day? And that's all I gotta say from Willie Cage.
Angel. Keep my wife's